Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Wednesday, y'all. I hope everybody had a wonderful day. Sorry I missed y'all last night, but I've been at this conference virtually, and last night's session was really long, so I was kind of tired after. So I decided, to kind of float through some other people's chats and then, just kind of come on back on tonight. So, I put out a thing this morning. Hey, brown girl Bella. I put out a thing this morning about maybe there being some baseball champs. Now the Lakers are the champs. But tonight the Dodgers, you know, didn't play as well as they played last night. And, shouts out to Tampa Bay because there's a reason why they are the team in the World Series playing against the Dodgers. Not to mention the fact that the Dodgers had to win a game 7 on Sunday night to play the first game of the World Series last night and then another game. I mean, so nights in a row they've been playing, whereas Tampa Bay didn't play on Sunday. They were able, to rest. But again, it's all good. Um, I still think that the Dodgers have a really good chance of winning. I mean, they haven't won since 1988. They haven't won in this century. Now, they've been to the World Series, they just haven't been able to pull it off. So, we're hoping that this is going to be the year for the LA Dodgers. You know, just like this was the first time in what, 17 years that the Lakers are champions. 2020 has been a hard year for the, entire world. But I have to say that, you know, LA just then got beat up, you know, in the last couple of years with losing, you know, black men who were larger than life. I mean, losing Nipsey, that was a huge blow for the young people. And then losing Kobe this year through such a just senseless, that was just senseless, you know, and all of those people on that helicopter. That's how 2020 started out for Los Angeles. And literally within weeks of, you know, them doing a tribute, funeral for Kobe in February, the entire country is shut down because of coronavirus. And although we've started to open back up, you know, we as a country still are kind of in lockdown because depending on where you are and what the numbers are of people who are infected, that kind of affects, you know, whether businesses are open. I mean, the hospitality industry is tanked. There are no cruises. Um, there are no amusement parks right now. There's barely bars and restaurants. And let's not even get into people having the right to go to church. or to a synagogue or to a mosque. Let's not even get into people's religious rights. Hey, uppity unicorn. I was, you know what? I was looking. I was trying to actually plow through his long ass broadcast because I don't follow Sarnetta, but um, I was checking it out, but I didn't get to the part where he was going off on you, but I can only imagine uppity. I'm like every time you, it's like every time you try to move away from these people in this algorithm, it's like somebody's trying to drag you back into some mess. Oh, sister, sip that. Yeah, it's still going on. That's what I'm saying, uppity. The thing is still on. He's still live. It's still live. So I don't. Apparently, it's been going on for hours. People got. I mean, yeah, it's been going on for hours. And so I didn't. I'm like, oh, this. I had started digging, and then I looked and said, oh, it's time for me to go live. So I'll have to come back and listen to him later. But I'm like, I don't even get these. You know, the last time I mentioned him, his corny channel, I praised him. These guys on here are so sensitive. I mean, I don't even understand. Cause I'm sorry, I haven't heard anybody talking about him. I haven't heard anybody talking about him. I haven't heard his name come at all up at all. But I did see, I'm not pink pill, but I followed the pink pill, and I saw the post about Kevin Samuels. I thought it was funny. I think it's also funny that all these women and men follow this man. Just, I mean, I'm just shaking my head because, and then the $300 thing. He is a fraud. Oh, I know. Exactly. Well, see, here's the thing. If men want to know how to speak to women, that's something that a woman would teach a man on, I mean, I don't understand how a man's going to teach another man how about what women want. Anyway, you know, they're fools for giving him money, though, uppity. All these people following, you know what? I'm not going to knock Kevin for his little spill because it's blown him up and everything. But the people who are following and listening to the nonsense, and then you're mad when you don't get the results that you think you're going to get following behind what he's saying. Berating the wild They're paying him thousands. They're fool. Who's paying this man thousands an hour for his services? What services? Well, yeah, he's definitely scamming them out of money. Consultants don't even charge thousands an hour. Like business consultants, when you're doing, like when you're doing consultations, it might be maybe 100 or a couple $100. I mean, even attorneys don't charge that rate. If he's charging thousands an hour, then these people are fools for following behind him and paying it. And then they're paying him to call them dumb and tell them they're stupid and tell them they don't know what they're doing. And the question is what kind of woman are they going to get listening to this man? What kind of woman are they going to actually get? Yeah. Those women that are sitting in his chat, God bless them, but that's not who you need to be listening to about high value men. I'm sorry, not sorry. Because it's not about the man being in a suit. That doesn't. Lots of men who wear a suit are not necessarily high value men. That's all about your definition of what a high value man is. But I like the stuff that you've been talking about in regards to that uppity unicorn. More people need to listen to that, because really, you know he's talking about the high value man. Okay, so then, well then, of course there's a high value woman. I personally think that most of us are high value women. You know, most of us have a high value on us. No, it's not a whole bunch of ratchetness going on. However, shouts out to D. Darrell for showing us some ratchetness from the UK today. He had some UKer, one of these UK women, who's much bigger than homegirl that's you know floating around in the manosphere. And this chick was on her channel telling women what they needed to do to prepare for going to get some peen. I kid you not. She was talking about how the lips need to look, just you know, it's ratchet in the UK. It's ghetto in the United States. Same difference though. Same difference. You know, but people think because these young ladies speak with a British accent, you know, and maybe speak the King's English more properly than we do, that they're proper ladies because of the way that they speak, which is so crazy to me. Hey, Tutu Thing Thing. Happy Wednesday. So what do you guys think about the Pope now sanctioning civil unions between same-sex couples. And what do you think is the agenda behind said sanctioning in the Catholic Church? You know, that was the talk today. Because you guys know I've been at a leadership conference for the last couple of days. And we were actually talking about that today. We were talking about that, and my pastor was also talking, really was talking about the treatment of the LGBTQ community within the church. And you know, especially when we're talking about the black ones, because you know, let's just be real. The black church is probably the most, how shall I say, they like to ignore that part of the community and try to ignore the fact that part of the community is also within their churches, you know, because we all know about that there's many a choir with a choir, you know, with a lot of men in the choir that may not like women. I'm not saying all of them, but there are some. Now, we all know that the Catholic Church has long been probably the number one opponent against anything dealing with same-sex marriage. So it is surprising to me that this Pope, who I believe previously was against it, is now sanctioning it. Now he's only sanctioning the civil unions. You know, that's, you know, that's not to say that they're going to allow them to actually get married in the church. But I just see that is one more step towards everything being normalized. I mean, I told you guys that there's that they have now made it so that they can practice pedophilia to some extent here in the state of California. Okay? And now, as someone who actually grew up in the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, I always like to make that distinction. This is very surprising to me. It's very surprising to me because, you know, there's so many closeted gay men who are priests, some of whom are also pedophiles. So I'm just trying to understand where the Church of Rome is coming from and what their agenda is. Now, me, myself, and I've already come to my own, you know, resolution of a civil union has nothing to do with God. It's civil. it's the government. So this is simply, to me, him acknowledging same-sex marriages that are civil unions, because in so many countries it's legal. So I guess, but that's not the same as them sanctioning it that they could, be married in a Catholic church. But it's going to be interesting, because I certainly am curious to see what the Protestant response is going to be to this. You know, I'm certainly going to want to see what the Protestant response is going to be. And I'm interested to see what, I guess what Catholics in general's response is to this. Those who still are practicing Catholics, that is, you know. Because as far as the Catholic Church is concerned, I am a backslidden Catholic. That's what they consider me, because I was not excommunicated from the Catholic Church. I left of my own free will because of pedophilia. Yes. And I say it every time, and I tell people that's why I left. You know? I mean, who how could I be in a religion that I grew up in, that hides these despicable short eyes acts by men who supposedly made a vow to God of celibacy. Now, I'm not with priests being celibate. I think that is crazy. However, they don't force anybody to do that. They do it of their own free volition. But celibacy means don't touch little children either. Leave the little altar boys and altar girls alone. Hey, Miss Mahogany. But now, I guess the Catholic Church is going to be okay with its members who are in a same-sex marriage that was a civil union. I guess that's what he's trying to say. Which is, so basically, is he saying that the Catholic Church is okay with homosexuality and that they're accepting it? Is that what he's saying? I'm just asking a question. That's not what he said, but what I'm saying is that what he's saying. I guess we're going to have to see, what happens over the next, few weeks and months. But it's interesting, because this, new judge that's supposed to be coming in, he always does this. Sorry, misunderstood. I don't know why he does that. Nightbot is so rude. Nightbot is so rude. See, he can't do anything to Mahogany because Mahogany has a wrench. And it's like Nightbot always comes into the chat and twerks. Comes in, twerks, and then leaves. Twerks in my chat, leaves. Really, people gonna leave the Catholic Church. I'm telling you, because even see that, because to me, him saying that he is sanctioning civil unions of same-sex marriages, to me, it's saying that the Catholic Church is okay with gay. It's okay with homosexuality. That's what I interpret it as. And that's probably the way that these Catholics that are leaving the Catholic Church interpret it as well. You know? Now, granted, we all know that the Bible was written by men. Okay? We know that. We believe it to be God inspired. But we also know that there was really a city named Sodom, and there was really a city named Gomorrah. These cities really did exist, and they really were destroyed. And they really had people who were into lascivious and perverted acts. And it was not just sodomy. It was incest. It was bestiality. It was all of that. So God made them go away. Now that's not just that's that single, scripture is, not to say that, but it's said many times throughout the Bible. It's even in the Quran. Most religions do not accept homosexuality. They don't. So, him saying this is basically saying that the Catholic Church does now. And my question is, what's the agenda behind that? What's the agenda behind that? Hey, misunderstood. You know what? I keep going into the rules for Nightbot, and I keep telling Nightbot to stop. That it's okay for people to put emojis in my chat because YouTube doesn't care about it, so I don't care about it either. But Nightbot refuses to obey my new rules. Nightbot does whatever the heck Nightbot wants to do. You see what I'm saying? Nightbot does whatever the heck Nightbot wants to do. Let me see something. I can't do it from there. I'm trying to come into my chat so I can, because I'm in StreamYard, so I'm trying to go into my chat on my laptop. Because I'm in my chat, but I'm not in my I'm not in my main account. I'm in my backup account. Hey, Francis. Yeah. And the only reason I have Nightbot is because if I ever do a live, like one of those long silent lives that people do, I'm not expecting a mod to sit in my stream for 3 and 4 hours. So that's why I have Nightbot. But Nightbot hardly ever comes into my chat. I'm telling you, I can do like 5 or 6 live streams, and I'll see Nightbot maybe in 1 or 2, and the rest of them Nightbot doesn't even show up. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to, so I'm trying to come into my chat. My Mac is moving so slow, y'all. Okay, now I'm in my chat. So now let me see if I can. I'm waiting for the chat to come up. Cause I'm in StreamYards on my phone, and I have brought up the chat on my computer, but it goes into my other account because y'all I'm running my live streams on my other account. All right, so now I'm in as me. All right, so let me find you, Misunderstood. There you are. Let me grab you. Okay, you should be good now. I grabbed you. I like StreamYards. Um, I like StreamYards. I have Zoom as well, but I've never tried to use Zoom on YouTube. I have it so that I can, but on Zoom, I don't think I can. I think with the Zoom one, I can't necessarily pre-schedule it. I haven't figured out how to pre-schedule it so that it comes through to YouTube yet. But I added my YouTube onto my Zoom account. But I don't have any issues with StreamYard. I know how to use it. I figured out how to, share my screen. I figured out how to add people. Like on Zoom, I don't know how to add. I wouldn't know how to add people. I think there's some crazy way you have to add people when you do it from Zoom. I know how to share my screen on Zoom though, and I know how to. I like on Zoom because I have all these virtual backgrounds that I can put behind me if I come on screen. And on StreamYard, I need to have a green screen before I can use the virtual backgrounds. People use Zoom to invite unless you want 2 screens. Hey, DOD. Yeah, I might like do a test with my Zoom because I use Zoom for um for my movie stuff because we do the rehearsals on Zoom meetings, and so because I'm the production assistant on the current movie, we use my Zoom account, and I have a paid for Zoom account, so it's not the free one. Yeah, I've used Streamlabs a couple of times. I've used Streamlabs a couple of times, but I haven't. I used Streamlabs before I hit my 1K. I haven't used Streamlabs since I've been over 1K. Since I've been over 1K, I either come live via YouTube or I'll come live via StreamYard. I haven't used Streamlabs at all. And I'm thinking about doing a test with Zoom and just see if I see what it looks like. And I know like a lot of people have all these other OBS systems and everything, but I have a Mac, okay? So my Mac is not going to allow me to do all of the I don't have it doesn't yeah, we're not doing all of that. It's an older Mac, and until I get a newer computer, we're gonna deal with what my Mac can do. Oh yeah, I have templates and I have overlays. Like I have an overlays because that's why you guys like when you first come in, it's usually you can see the let me see. Where is it? Let me see. Yeah, usually if I have more people, you can see the background, but there's a background there behind us. Like when I come off of the screen, I have like the waterfall. That's the background that I have on the screen. So if it's me and somebody else on here, you can kind of see the background behind us. I haven't figured out, like some people have those backgrounds that are the motion graphics, like it looks like running water and that kind of stuff. I haven't put any overlays like that in yet because I haven't figured out how. But once I figure out how, I might try one of those, like, one that's like some water on a babbling brook or something. Yeah. Yeah. StreamYards it's a good OBS for like those of us who can't put those big, huge OBSs on our computer. My system just won't allow it. So I'd rather be on a digital OBS system. But I know the ones that have like JV and the Cast Life, they're using like some types of OBS systems, so they're able to do a whole lot of fancy graphics when they're live. I can't do all of that yet, but once I figure out how to do those kind of things, because I know you can do them in StreamYards as well, I will. I have been looking, you know, at like adding a intro to the not for random chat when I do it, like some people have on their things. But we'll get to that. Right now, I'm working on an actual theme song for my channel that will be played in all of like my uploads and stuff. And I've already written the lyrics. I just got to do the music, and then get some studio either through my computer or go into somebody's studio and lay it down, and we'll get it together. Oh, hey, Lawrence. Thank you, Misunderstood. It's working for me though. Hey, Lawrence. I didn't see you come in. I didn't see you come in. But you guys, to me, what the Pope said today is to me is it it sounds like he's sanctioning. He is basically saying that the Catholic Church is okay with same-sex marriages, which means that they're okay with being gay. It's the same thing as them saying they accept that. And it's upset a lot of people in the Catholic Church. Not surprisingly, though. Not surprisingly. All I can say is, I'm glad I left the Catholic Church when I left the Catholic Church for the reason that I left the Catholic Church. I was very disheartened. Very disheartened. But I had questioned things within Catholicism, from a teen. I questioned stuff. And, to those who continue to be Catholic, I have nothing against you, because that's fine for you. I just couldn't do it anymore because of the priest, and because it happened in the church that I was in. I couldn't. I had never dealt with that kind of stuff in growing up in a Catholic church, but when I came to California, I guess those demons have a stronghold here. You know, so it's sad, but I had to go. What I misunderstood? No, what I'm saying is that today the Pope has sanctioned same civil same-sex marriages, and that many Catholics took that to mean that the Catholic Church is now sanctioning being gay. That's what they interpreted it as. And my question is, what was his agenda behind that? And that's the way I take it too. It sounds to me that that's what they're saying too. You know, that's going to be a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. It's going to be a real hard pill for like the evangelicals to swallow, and the Protestants. I just want to know what the Protestant response is going to be to this. Because I promise you, they're not going to follow suit. But I'm telling you, this is all about. There's an agenda. There is an agenda here. It's an agenda. Well, see, the thing is that here's the thing. Trump isn't Catholic. His wife is, but guess who is Catholic? That would be Joe Biden. You know, and we already, you know, we already know that 45 is not he is not a fan of the LGBTQ community. So I don't know. I mean, the Pope is not a political person. However, it is interesting that he would make this statement around the time of the U.S. election. It is very interesting. I don't even know what his agenda was on that one. Yeah, I think that it would there's some strategy in it, in that. Now, did he go out on a limb doing this? You know, because you know that the Pope doesn't really run the Vatican. He doesn't really run the church. There's a council. And then, of course, you have the Black Pope, which is, the Jesuits that run everything. Yeah, the Jesuit priests that run everything. So there's no telling, is there, where this came from? Because it feels like it just popped out of the sky. It just feels like it popped out of the sky. And I don't know, is it a distraction? And then if it's a distraction, what is it here to distract us from? You know, because it's certainly not going to take my mind off the fact that we have to vote. Do y'all know every state where they've already opened up the polls, people have already started voting and they're in long lines. They don't open the polls officially here in the state of California until Saturday, but they will be open every day until election day. So, that's over 10 days. There's no excuses. And and that's the way it is in just about in most states. Most states are not waiting until November 3rd, and people have already started voting. Because my cousins that are in Texas, they've already voted. They've already voted. Now, one of the things that I find interesting here in the area that I am in is that they're stating that we have a higher homicide rate in 2020 than we've had in either of the past 2 years. And the police department is using that as an excuse for why there shouldn't be any type of defunding of the police department. However, 2020 is a very um, special year considering the fact that we were locked up for a number of months, and during that time period there wasn't much crime at all. This is the stuff that happened before and after places started opening back up. And it still can be blamed on the fact that the police were not as present as they should have been. So that is why people want to defund, because they're like, well, in the situations where it's not the police doing the killing, it's happening because the police are not around when they had the bodies to be around. So what? Them taking money away from something that you weren't even utilizing it for is, I don't understand. Why is that an issue? And why don't they understand why the homicide rate is higher? You had people were locked in their homes like caged beasts. And a lot of violence happened when people came back out. Because we are social creatures. We don't do well being isolated. See what you guys are saying. Yeah, they want to, man, 45 just wants it to be the military to be the police. He wants there to be like the National Guard to be the police. He wants this to be a police state. That's what he wants. And if he stays in office, he's going to push to try to make it go that way. He's going to push for more division because that serves him. It serves him. The weapons, it'll be weird. Man, there are more weapons. There are more weapons on the street right now, and they're like surprised as to why so many people are armed, because we were in the middle of a pandemic. They didn't know if somebody was going to come try to take what they had. So now you have all these people who are now armed because of fear. Or maybe they were already armed in the first place and you just didn't know it. You know? Because gun sales and ammunitions have been through the roof popping. They have. Never thought. The thing that is perplexing for those, for me, the nonpartisan me, I mean, I'm saddened because these are the choices that we have. I am truly saddened by the choices that we are left with. And the other thing is that I don't know what it's going to take for younger people to get involved in politics, at least at the local level, because nothing's going to change until we start making the changes. I mean, I'm on the older end of things, so to speak, but we shouldn't be having presidential candidates that are in their 70s. Let me just say that, okay? The most that a presidential candidate should be in their 50s. Let's just be real. If they're older than that, they're too old now. with the current state. You know, I mean, let's see, who was in their 40s when they went into office? Obama. Was Clinton still in his 40s? Yeah. And then the last one before that was Kennedy. Everybody else were old men. They were definitely over the age of 60. This is crazy. That is not even the median age in this country. You have to be 35 years old, a minimum of 35 years old to run for president. You must be a U.S. natural born citizen. Means you must have been born in the United States. I don't think you can have been born in a territory. I think you have to actually have been born in one of the 50 states. Unless, of course, you were a military brat and your parents were and you were born on a military base. That's different. Because then you're still a United States citizen. So but yeah, it's not a whole bunch of criteria to become president, y'all. It's not a requirement that you've ever held an office before. Guys, I don't even know if you actually have to have a college degree to be president, y'all. I don't know if that's even a criteria. I'm just saying. I don't think you have to have a college degree to be president of the United States. I don't think that's one of the criteria. You do not have to have held a public office before. It's very basic criteria. I'm telling y'all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if see Puerto Rico. I don't think maybe Puerto Rico, but I don't think so. I think you have to have been born in one of the 50 states. I do. I think the only exception to that is if your parents are in the service and you're born on an Air Force base. Like you're born in Germany or in France, where on a base, but the basis that you're born on is still considered the United States. You know what I mean? Even though it's in a foreign country. So, but anyway, I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't think you have to be a college graduate because otherwise, why would Kanye be saying he was going to run for president? By the way, y'all, I did tell y'all that he is on the ballot as the vice presidential candidate for some other party on the California ballot. He did make the deadline to get on the California ballot, but he's not on there as president. They said he's on there as vice president. I haven't gone to my PO box to get my mail-in ballot yet because I'm planning on voting in person. So that mail-in ballot means nothing to me. I just want to make sure they sent it to me. But I'm not voting by mail. My son is going to vote by mail. And I'm going to vote in person. And when I vote in person, I'm going to make sure that they have him on their thing. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to take his mail-in ballot to the voting center and drop it off. Nothing against the United States Postal Service, but we're just not going to go there. I mean, they've already tried to burn a ballot box here in California. Why would I trust, you know, and if I had the time, I'd drive out to Norwalk to the county, to the LA County Registrar's office, but I don't feel like doing all that. But I am voting early. I am not waiting till November the 3rd. And I expect that there are going to be lines all over the freaking country, because although a lot of states have given voters the option to mail in their ballots, most of us are very distrusting. Thanks to 45, we're scared that our votes won't get counted if we mail them in. It won't get there on time. So that's, that kind of stuff. And the U.S. Postal Service, I mean, they have a tracking system though, so you're able to track your mail-in ballots. So we're gonna definitely do my son's early. Nobody's waiting till the 3rd. PR is yes, but the thing is that Puerto Rico does not want to be a state. They do not want to give up being a territory. Every time the option is given to them to be to go up for statehood, they don't want it. Whereas my hometown wants to be a state. But I'm sorry, you're the capital of the country. You can't be a state. I like being born in the capital of the country. I like the fact that I wasn't born in a state. Don't take that away from me. I mean, but I understand. I do understand. There's no representation. No voting representation. Washington, D.C. has a representative. They just can't vote. So it's like a lame duck representative. But I don't even think Puerto Rico doesn't even have a representative. So. And the only way that they will get representation is if they become a state. They are a U.S. territory, and the U.S. is supposed to protect them, although this president didn't realize that they're part of the United States. He didn't realize that he was the president for Puerto Rico too. But does Puerto Rico, do they vote in the election? I guess they do. Do they vote? I didn't even think about that because I'm not from there. I guess they do vote. They have to file taxes. So I guess they do vote. I've seen Puerto Rican tax, their state, they have taxes, and they have to pay federal taxes, so I don't know. I guess they're able to vote. Okay, so they don't vote. He said Guam's president sucks. Oh, well, Guam is a U.S. territory. They don't have a president other than, here. They have a governor. Like Puerto Rico has a governor. So they can vote for stuff on their island, but they don't get to vote for president. I guess if they live in Puerto Rico, but they also are actually a resident of another state, of an actual state. Like if someone is over in Puerto Rico, but they're actually a resident of Florida, then they can vote. But they'd have to vote as a Florida resident. I didn't even think about that. Because, I know like all of the people who live on in our armed forces that are overseas on Air Force bases and Army bases and the like are going to vote. They all vote by mail. And those votes aren't even counted until November 3rd. They don't start counting the votes. See, that's the thing with the mail-in votes. Mail-in votes aren't counted until actual election day. That's why I'm voting in person, because those votes are counted immediately. And I want my vote to count immediately. Even if my vote is only counting towards the electoral college, I want it to count for whoever's running against 45. That's my choice. But I just want everybody to vote. I'm just telling you, I want everybody to vote. I don't want people to not vote because they don't like either one of the candidates. Pick one, vote for one. Please vote in this election. If you have the right to vote, make sure you're registered to vote. Most states will even let you do a provisional registration on election day. I know the state that I'm in does. But they're making it very easy for people to register to vote all the way up to election day, pretty much, in these United States this year. You guys, this is so unheard of. So that means people don't have no excuses for not voting unless you don't have the right to vote because you have a criminal record. And did you know that some felons do get their right to vote back? It's a process, but they can get their right to vote back. But right now, I'm telling people to please vote because you guys do realize that they have stomped all over the Voting Rights Act of 1965. They have tried to make it so difficult for people to vote. They've tried to put back in literacy and all kinds of things to not allow people to vote. Please don't take the right to vote for granted. Don't take it for granted, y'all. You know? And this is for anybody, white, black, pink, purple. None of us should take our right to vote for granted. At least we live in a country where we can vote. How about that part? And that we have the power, if we feel that we have a corrupt or, deranged president, that we can get him out. A lot of other countries don't have that. I'm just saying, y'all. But I know I've been on here running my mouth for over an hour. I always feel like I'm not going to have enough commentary for 60 minutes. And I always do. All right, so let me come on camera. I know David is going to want to get on camera, so I'm going to wait until he comes over here. Come on, come sit, come sit, come sit. All right, so I'm going to come on camera, so that David's going to come on with me. Let me push it back so y'all can see. There we go. Wave at the camera, David. Say hi.
Say hi. Hi.
Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All good. All right, you guys. So God, my hair is like looking crazy. I am out of here. I am going to get off of here because I go back to work tomorrow. I've been off for the last 3 days at this conference, but tomorrow I'm back at work. So gotta get some sleep tonight. But I will see y'all then. And hopefully my hair won't be looking crazy like it is right now. Okay, let me fix that. Yeah. Okay, that's better. I'll see you guys. Until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I will see you guys soon. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys and to get you guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys. Peace.